Okay, what we're going to do today is install the very new remix of Ubuntu 20.04 Unity. So if you've ever watched any of these videos on this channel before and you've stuck around for a bit, you'll know that I'm a massive Unity fan, and I actually do run Unity on my main build. Neighbours are playing around with some power tools, so if it gets a bit too crazy I'll have to pause this video and start over at some point. But anyway, so I've been using Ubuntu 20.04 Unity for, well, since the daily builds, with just using the Ubuntu Unity desktop package. But the fact that someone's gone and done a distribution with it and they're going to sort of, you know, take a bit of extra care over it is very welcome. I might just add, it's made by a guy called Rudra Saraswat. If I said that wrong, my apologies. He's 10 years old, which is quite mad really. When I was 10 I was sticking bits of Lego up my nose and eating spiders or something. So that's very impressive. What we're going to do is we're going to install it to the disk. We're going to go for a full install. There is a load of random operating systems on this computer and even a Windows installation, so we're going to have to be a bit mindful of what we're installing onto, but we're going to go ahead and install now. As you can see, it's using the Ubuntu Ubiquity installer, and I've got it running on a capture card at the moment, so I'm having to look at my OBS preview screen until we've finished with the installation. So it's got the whole sort of normal and minimal installations. Usually I would go for a minimal, but we're going to go for the normal to see what he's packaged in this ISO. The ISO, by the way, was around 3 GB in size, maybe a little bit over. I'll leave a link in the description. And also I've read that it doesn't use LightDM anymore, it switches over to GDM. But I'm sure we can get a capture of that while we're filming. Okay, so we're going to have to go on to something else because, as I said, there's a few installations of stuff on here. So we go to continue. Hopefully there's a disk with nothing on it. There is, I can see it already, dev SDB. Right, we're just going to go for a EFI partition and a straight root partition, just so it doesn't mess around with any boot files of anything. So we're going to go for EFI. And we're going to chuck it to about 300 megabytes. And then we'll leave the rest on root. So I'm going to imagine it does what the standard Ubuntu does, and it will make a swap file of around 2 gig. So where are we? Let's go for, there it is. So now we want to make the rest just on an ext4, and then we'll just chuck it on one partition on root. Okay, that should be all good to go. Let's make sure the bootloader's on that disk as well though. So let's go onto there and go for SDB. Bang. Okay, cool. Let's go for install now. And let's click continue. Right, that's all good and correct. Continue. User accounts. Password. And we're just going to go for a login automatically and then click continue. Right, so let's make a note of the time. It says there it's 12:19. So when this is finished, I'll quickly show you what time it finishes and then we'll reboot. I'll probably set up a screen mirror before we get straight into it though. So 12:19, let's remember that for when we finish this installation, see how long it took. Okay, it's just finished and it's took about, well, it was on 12:19, we're on 12:23, so it's taken about 4-ish minutes, which is pretty damn good. Now we're going to restart. I will probably film the restart because I want to show you what it looks like as it loads up. I think it says like Ubuntu, so obviously like a combination of Unity and Ubuntu, so Ubuntu, yeah, there you go. So I'm going to pause the video now, and then when we reboot we should be good to go. Okay, so we are up and ready to go. It's done a extension to the left, so what we're going to need to do is jump into the settings. You can't see it just yet. Right, this might be a bit tricky. This looks like the GNOME settings and I'm not sure if it's going to be set up to work with Unity properly. So let's go on to display. Right, so it's not picking up any displays. What we might need to do is see if they've got the Unity Control Center. If not, we will have to quickly install that. Obviously this is all very new and fresh, so a lot of it won't be quite ready for sort of daily use. Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't got the Unity Control Center. What we're going to do then is very quickly install Unity Control Center, which is the Unity settings package. Let's open up a terminal. Unity Control Center. Hopefully that's all there. It should be in the repo. It is. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm not sure why they've not included the normal Unity settings. As I said, perhaps they're going to work on making it all work with the GNOME settings. So we've got a system problem there, but we're just going to cancel that for now. Right, let's open up the Unity Control Center. So it'll be this one here that says System Settings. Or will it? No, I think we've just opened up the same thing. Let's do that again. So it should be this one here then, Settings. Okay, we're not getting anything open at the moment. I think it is System Settings. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do an update in the terminal and then we're going to reboot it and hopefully that sorts things out a bit. So let's just do a quick update. Oh, it's so hard doing this on the OBS preview screen. Okay. Can't see anything either. Let me just move that out of the way of my face a moment. There we go. Right, we're going to let that do its update. I'm not sure how. Oh, it's got a few things there. It's in. Yeah, it's doing some stuff. So what we're going to do is let that finish. Then we'll do a reboot, and then hopefully the control center that we've just installed will actually work, and we can set a screen display up mirror so I can actually see what I'm doing whilst looking forward and not bending my neck. Okay, let's do a reboot and see how we go. As I said, I'll leave a link in the description to this. I think it's a Mediafire or one of them upload sites that have installed it to, uploaded it to. There we go. Let's go for Ubuntu, or as they call it now, Ubuntu. I think I quite like that name actually, Ubuntu. Right, let's see if we've right, so it's opened it up again in the same extension. So let's see if we can open up the actual Unity settings now. So I'm pretty sure it is the system settings package. Let's have a look. Bang. Right, I'm not quite sure why they haven't included this by default. Perhaps, as I said, they're going to work on the GNOME one and make it work like that. But as you can see, display settings are there now and it works. So what we're just going to very quickly do is go to Mirror Displays, click Apply, and then hopefully that's done it. Brilliant. Right, also, obviously because we've only got the, well, mirror display makes it think that it's just one display, but usually what I would do is turn sticky edges off, because what I do is when I extend my monitors to the right or left, what sticky edges is it will get stuck to the panel and you have to do a bit of extra pressure to go to the next one. I tend to just turn it off completely. So what we're going to do is just have a general look around now. Let's next through all of this. So I want to see how he's actually set this up. So we're getting quite a few system problems, but what was that? That's not to worry. So let's see what he's installed it with. Let's go on to the all applications part here. So we've got Cheese, Deja Derp, 2 files programmed. So I'm going to imagine one's Nautilus and one's Nemo. Let's just double check that. So that looks to me like it's Nautilus. It is indeed. So let's open up the other one, which will be Nemo. So if I were you and I was going to use this spin, what I would do is I would uninstall Nautilus because it doesn't have any support for the global menu at the top here. But if you was to go onto Nemo, you will see, at least you should see, there you go, Nemo has full global menu support for Unity there at the top. So this is Nemo obviously, because it wouldn't work with that otherwise. Let's go to About just to make sure. Yeah, so it's Nemo 4.4.2. So let's close that now, and let's close that and see what else he's installed it with. Let's go back to this one. So if you've never used Unity before and you sort of started using Ubuntu when it done the transition to GNOME, it might be worth you having a look here. This is how we all used to live, and I still live like this. As I say, I still use this on my main machine. So we've got GNOME disks. We have Geary for our email client. I do believe I saw Thunderbird somewhere as well though, so we'll have a look at that. Full LibreOffice suite, GNOME Mahjong, so it's got a few of the GNOME games. Software, Rhythmbox for music, so a lot of the standard stuff you'd find in a Unity install. Yep, there's Thunderbird Mail there as well. So I've we've got transmission for torrents. So I've seen 2 software centers. You also get the Synaptic Package Manager. Okay, so let's see what's going on with software. I'm going to imagine, though I could be wrong, one's the Snap Store and then another is just the standard Ubuntu software store or GNOME software. So let's open up the other one. So Ubuntu software is, it's taking a while to load, so I'm going to imagine it's the Snap Store. Yeah, there we go. So this one is the Snap Store. So it's up to you guys whether you want to keep both stores there or Snap or whatever. I'm not going to go too much into the whole Snap debate these days because it's too much of a headache. So we're going to leave that. What we're going to do is let that do its update. So the GNOME stack is 3.34 apparently. Okay. Right, let's let that install, and then we're just going to do some general Unity stuff now. So obviously I use Unity a lot, so I kind of know my way around it these days. So one thing that might annoy some people who've got sort of little OCD things about desktops is, if you notice on this launcher here, there's actually like a little white line there. So if you was to go into full screen in an application, so it uses Firefox by default, you might want to install a different web browser though, because there's no sort of out of the box global menu for Firefox. I tend to just use Google Chrome. You can see a little line there, and unfortunately there's not a lot you can do about it as a user because it's actually part of the panel. So I do believe he's got Tweak installed out of the box. He does. So the problem with this little line here is it's part of the actual panel launcher. So if you go into launcher and do auto hide, you'll see it is actually still there even on auto hide. That does drive me insane. So what I tend to do is always just have auto hide on, but I just do slide only. So I can show you the different animations. That's slide only. Fade and slide. That's fade and slide. Let's go for fade only. Fade only is a bit weird. Yeah. So we're just going to go for, let's have a look at fade dash and slide. There we go. So I just go for slide only. So back in the day, as far as I have read, there did used to be like a way to get Windows Dodge to work as opposed to just auto hide. It was either removed or it's just not supported anymore because you won't find it in the Tweak settings. Oh god, my neighbour's playing around with some more power tools again. Hopefully he stops. Okay, so what we're going to do quickly is just change the sort of transparency levels of this to match this. So I tend to bring it down a bit to get a bit of a darker shade, and then I'll go into the panel and then I'll try and match that colour. That'll do for now. And now I'm going to go back to auto hide. The reason why I do the auto hide, like I said, is because that line drives me nuts. But with Unity, which they did take over to the GNOME version, is if you hold super, it will then place numbers on these applications, and then you can just hit that number to whatever it corresponds to on your launcher, and it will open that program up for you quite quickly. Once you remember, or you sort of custom pin your programs where you want them and you remember the numbers, you kind of don't need to worry too much about having the launcher here. So we're going to close that now, and we're going to close that now. So what I'm going to do is quickly grab Google Chrome to show you how that does indeed work with the global menu. So let's go to download Google Chrome. Download Chrome, and we're just going to get that one there. Click accept, save file. So you can install it with software install, and I do believe we saw GDebi as well. So it's also got GDebi for your deb packages, so you can install it with that. We're just going to install it with apps though. So if we open that up into this folder here, open in terminal. So it looks like the default file manager is registered to Nautilus because that's what opened up when we did that. So if we go to ls, as you can see, that's the only thing in this folder, so we can just literally do a star. So we just go apt install, do a dot, and then that, and then just either, let's say there was 2 things in here and one began with M and Google Chrome begins with G, we could just go G star, and then we wouldn't have to write all of that out. But because there's nothing in there, we just go star, and then that will install any package that's in that folder, you see. So that's going to install Google Chrome for us, and we'll quickly show you how that works with the global menu. But now let's do some sort of just normal Unity stuff. So basically, if you're new here and you've not seen my channel before, I'll quickly show you some sort of settings that I tend to use, or just keyboard shortcuts and stuff. So if we go back into the system settings now, this one here. So first of all, oh no, we want Tweak Tool, sorry, my bad. So let's open up the launcher again, just go Tweak Tool. So first of all, what we're going to want to do is sort our workspaces out. So we go to workspace switcher, I take that down to 1, and then I'll make that 4, and then as you can see, your workspace switcher key is super and S. So if you press super and S, you'll then get to your workspaces, and obviously you can drag that to and from, and then I don't know There you go, the default switching on the keyboard is Control Alt. I tend to change that though. So Windows spread. So if you've got some windows open, oh yeah, and holding Super will show you the commonly used shortcuts. So Windows spread will show you anything that's on that window, but then if you do it with a shift, it will show you anything that's on any workspace basically. So that's pretty handy to use. And then the Alt Tab switcher is one of the best you'll find in any desktop environment. Very handy indeed. So what we're going to do is go into back into the overview now, and we want to see what else we want to do on here. Is there anything else I want to do on here? No. Right now we want to, oh, I wonder how they've got the shortcuts. We've installed the Unity settings so we can do our shortcuts through that. I want to check the GNOME settings though very quickly to see how they have actually registered certain things. So like we can't use the display stuff at the moment, but let's see if the appearance works. So obviously this won't, because this is for Ubuntu dock on GNOME, so changing this will not change the size of your dock here or your launcher, so it doesn't really matter about that. But I wonder if these light and dark theme switches work. So let's go on to dark. Aha, it does indeed. It's quite weird seeing GNOME settings with that there. Yeah, cool. All right, I'll tell you what we're going to do then. Let's open up the tweak tool again and see what the actual themes are that it comes installed with. So we've already got tweak open here, so let's go on to appearance wherever you may be. Theme, there we go. So we're using Yaru Dark, and as you can say, if we go back onto standard, it will then be Yaru. So it comes with ambience, arc, dark. Good guy. That's what I use all the time, so I'll probably use that for the most part. Right, so it comes with quite, it even has Yaru. Let's see what Yaru looks like on here, the icon theme. It doesn't look quite right, to be honest, and it doesn't have the correct button there. So we're going to stick with Papyrus, which seems to be their default icon theme for the most part. But it also comes with ePapyrus, Red Glass, Suru, Yaru, White Glass. Okay, a fair few options there. So let's leave that like that. And now let's go into the Unity tweak, Unity settings, and have a look at our keyboard shortcuts. So if we go into Unity, system settings here, so keyboard, shortcuts. So obviously we've installed Google Chrome now, so I'm going to show you how that works with the global menu quickly as well. So as you can see here now, we've got the global menu, and then you can just use that to go for your settings. And also, if you've never used Unity as well, the Alt key is your best friend. So if you press Alt and then typed, say you can't find where a certain setting is, obviously you'll know where bookmark is, but we'll just use that for an example. You could then go through anything that has the word bookmark in it. So if you use Kden Live, for example, which has a lot of settings, transitions and effects, you can say you wanted to search for like keyframe or something, you would just type in keyframe and then it would find that setting for you straight away. And that's why I tend to really like Unity from just a content creation point of view. So what we're going to do now is go through these keyboard shortcuts, and while we're doing that, I'm just going to install HTOP. Right, so here we have our settings. Oh, one more thing I want to show you before we go into that, sorry. If we go back into tweak, so you know how you have like a dynamic panel for the GNOME extension for your top bar? You can do the same on Unity. So as you can see here, opaque for maximize windows. So now that will go dark when a window is maximized, and it just looks better. It doesn't sort of like conflict or have a weird contrast with the window that's open. Right, so we've done that. Let's open up HTOP while we keep having a look around, and then we will do a reboot in a moment to see how much RAM we're using at boot. But yeah, this is just going to be a very quick look at Unity, to be honest, the remix. But I'm actually quite happy that he's gone ahead and done it, especially at the age of 10. It's really quite impressive, to be honest with you. So let's go back into the keyboard shortcuts now and just go through what the defaults are here. So you can launch things like home folder, so they're just your sort of keyboard shortcuts, mail. Right, let's go on to navigation. So what I tend to do is I don't use the defaults for moving windows and moving workspaces. So what I'll do for this is control right, and then I'll do the same for left, but obviously control left. And then what we're going to do is go to move window one workspace to the left, and we're going to have control alt left, which I do believe is their default for just switching workspaces. And now we should be able to move that across windows and then use just the controls. That's how I like to set it up. Brilliant. So screenshots, I wonder if they use GNOME screenshots for this. GNOME screen, yeah, so the default screenshot package is GNOME screenshot. Let's see how that works. Let's just do a quick print screen. Yep, that all works fine. Let's save that there. Okay, sound and media system. So you got Control Alt Delete to log out, and lock screen is Control Alt out. I will show you the lock screen quickly. There you go, there is your lock screen, and I'm also going to do a very quick log out to see how the GDM looks, because I do believe I read that it uses GDM as the display manager screen. There we go. So you can see it. Brilliant, cool. And as you can see there, it's got the name Ubuntu at the bottom. I do believe my screen capture card has just crashed. 1 minute. Let me just reactivate that for a second. It should come back. So I say. There we go. So yeah, you're using GDM now for your login screen, display manager. So let's just get back into it. And what we are going to do now is just do a reboot, get a RAM reading, and we're going to wrap it up there. But if you've never used Unity before and you're a bit put off of installing it yourself in like the mini ISO or over GNOME, definitely give it a go, because I want to sort of get Unity to have a bit of a resurgence, because it is actually my favourite desktop environment. So we're going to do a very quick reboot. We've already installed HTOP, so we don't need to worry about that. So the screen has frozen again, but just give it a minute and it should be back with us. So I'll say, there we go. So let's see how quickly it boots up now. We will have to hit enter on the sort of distro selection screen and grub, bang. So I'm not sure, like I say, I'm going to imagine they're going to map all the settings through GNOME, or they'll just hopefully just include Unity settings, control center. So let's open up HTOP now. And we are using 830 megabytes RAM. Let's just give it a minute to see if it will go down a bit more. Yep, so it's going down quite a bit lower. You can't see that though, because the screen has done another annoying thing. 1 minute. I'm glad it saved this nuisance until the end of the video, because then I didn't have to worry about not losing anything. So there you go. As you can see, we're using about 736 megabytes RAM. It's going down still further. CPU utilization is very low, like it should be. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up there, but like I said, I'm going to leave a link in the description, and I do strongly suggest anyone who's never used Unity to give it a go. I wouldn't say use it on your main machine just yet, because there's obviously a certain few little things that probably need to have a bit more work done on it. But no, very impressive. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.